What's up guys, Shadetree Surgeon here, and today we're going to be doing a rebuild on my 2016 KTM 300 XCW. Or at least I'm going to be doing my best to do a rebuild on it. I've never actually done this before, so this is going to be not only an instructional video for anybody who's watching this, but also a little test for me to see if I can actually do this. The whole point of two-strokes is that they are easily rebuildable, so let's put that theory to the test. My 300's got about 100 hours on it. I know a lot of guys go way longer than that. Some guys go way shorter than that, but at 100 hours, I feel like it's time. I can feel a slight drop off in power, and I overheated the bike during a race, a absolutely horrible race, and most importantly, race season starting soon, so I know I want to have a fresh piston in there. And the other thing I'm worried about is if there is problems with the coating, the Nickel coating on the cylinder, then I'm going to have the cylinder either sent off or get a new cylinder. And I want to make sure that I rebuild that in time before the race season starts to take into account the possibility of that happening. I have no idea, as I'm recording this right now, I have no idea what the piston's gonna look like, so we might be in for a horrible surprise. But from what everybody says and from everybody I've talked to and everything I've seen, these 300s are fucking tanks. So I think that I'm gonna pull this apart and the piston is probably gonna be just fine. But I'm gonna replace it anyway, so let's just jump right into it. So let's do a little unboxing here. I went ahead and went with a Vertex piston and top end rebuild kit that I got from Slavin's Racing. This isn't sponsored in any way, it's just where I happened to order it from. I've heard from a few different people that the Vertex makes a pretty good piston. Supposedly, we got new circlips here, new copper washers, we got all the gaskets and O-rings we might need. We're supposed to have every single thing that we need to actually rebuild this engine. I like the way this is packaged. It's pretty cool, you know, when you open it up and it's got all this gray foam with this, you know, gray box in here that says power on it. It looks like you're unboxing the new iPhone or something like that. And inside here we have our wrist pin and the other bearings and our rings, of course, and the money maker itself, the piston. Hard to believe, it's hard to believe that all those hours of enjoyment and all that power and all that fun I have comes from this little hunk of metal. This creates it all right here. Starting with the most obvious, my skid plate had to come off because the exhaust eventually has to come off, and the gas tank and the seat. So not only is it good practice when you work on anything to go ahead and disconnect the battery, we are actually messing with the starter on this too, so disconnect the battery. Next, I'm going to pull the pipe. What's funny about this, and totally worth mentioning I think, especially if this is your first time doing something like this, is the only special tool you will need for this entire project is a pipe spring tool. And trust me, you don't even need this because really you can just do this with almost anything else you have in your toolbox. Just for a quick example, whenever possible, these little screws that you take off of everything, I try to just, if it's possible to do so, I just put them right back, kind of hand loose, hand tight, whatever you want to call it. Back where they go. Just kind of makes everything easier to keep track of. That's just something I do. You might have your own system. Just figured I would share that. How does he keep his pipe so nice and dent-free, you might ask? Boom. P-Tech skid plate and pipe guard. This thing is the business. Next step, drain all the coolant that's in the engine, and when you do this, don't forget to take off the radiator cap or else you'll be wondering why it's not all coming out. In the name of making life easier for myself, I'm going to go ahead and remove this hose here in the front as well, because when you go to pull the cylinder off, this thing will be in the way. Next, I'm going to go ahead and remove the engine mount that attaches to the head. So, much to my dismay, I've learned as I just dropped everything everywhere that this actually had like gas or spacers or washers in it or something, so let's try to find those. Luckily, found them all.
Be on the lookout for those when you take that bracket off, because I just spilled those all over the floor. And just because it needs to be done and I don't feel like doing it later, I'm going to go ahead and take the starter off now, because it's going to have to come out in order to get at those bolts that hold in that plate right there to take the cylinder head off. All right, now that we got the starter off, we can go ahead and take these two side covers off. One on this side and then one for the power valve on the other side.
Wow. That one didn't seem very tight. Dang. Alright, so there's a circlip that I gotta pull out on this. I've never actually done it before, but what I have been told is that you should shove something in this little hole right here, because it's real easy to drop that motherfucker in there. So I'm gonna do it. You should probably do it too. I got fucking butterfingers, so when it comes to taking precautions like this, I always take them. But it does come off pretty easy. Well, he says as he doesn't get it off his first 4 tries. Okay, so it like goes up, in over here, and then across. Just if you're watching this right now, you want to know how it comes up. It actually feeds up in there and then pulls across. You need to pull it all the way off before you can pull that out. So, there you go. Let's just pop this thing off of here, he says with so much confidence. There we go. So, Jason Q, why is this arm black? Is here to give me a hand rebuilding 2-strokes, because Jason used to be into scooters, so he knows a thing or two about 2-strokes. Now we're going to go ahead and pull the head off, which will be made much easier by Jason here, because we got to pull this off in a star pattern. He can sit on one side, I can sit on the other. Let's pull this off. So as with anything that holds compression or whatever, just take a little bit. So I'm going to do a little 1 turn here. I'm going to hand it to Jason to do the one exactly opposite it. So basically what we're trying to do is take these off a little bit at a time, so we don't warp the head, which is definitely possible. Obviously I could do this myself, but
that'd be a lot of walking.
It'd be a lot of walking. It's much easier with a friend. Alright, now that we got all the head bolts out, we can go ahead and pull the head off, hopefully, easily. Now there should be retaining pins in here that you don't want to lose. Let's say we got one. Alright, cool. We got one that stayed in the cylinder and the other one's here in the head. Just important note that you do not want to lose those. Alright, so next step. Again, we're gonna trade places here. I got Jason sitting on the other side, and we're gonna go ahead and 1/4 turn loosen in a star pattern these 4 bolts that are holding the cylinder on before we pull it off, just to make sure everything's even. I'm probably being too cautious here, but this is my first time doing this, so I want to just try to make sure I do it as carefully as possible. So theoretically, at this point, the cylinder should just pull right off, right, Jason?
Yeah.
I mean, theoretically, let's tug on it and see what happens. Oh, that came right off. Surprisingly, I thought I was gonna have to hit it.
It's like it's supposed to do that or something.
I know. It's just a bent hose. Why on there? Let's leave that part out. Okay, it's fine. I mean, if it can take a whole race, it can take me.
The outside can take it all day long. It's
it's fine.
You weren't playing horseshoes with it or anything.
You're supposed to be here to help me stop doing stuff like that.
You didn't say spot me.
Alright, next step, and I think we're getting pretty lucky here. I mean, everything looks good so far. I mean, obviously the piston's got wear and scuffs on it and everything like that, but with how hot I've run this bike and how many times I've had it just like boiling over in the mud, some scuffing and on the piston was to be expected. So there's 2 little circlips that hold it in. We're gonna stuff another rag in there, go ahead and pop those out, and push the wrist pin out.
Watch your eyes for the break it.
Goodbye. That's gone. Luckily it came with new ones. Alright, being super careful here not to put any pressure on the connecting rod, I'm going to go ahead and use this 12 millimeter socket to
push the wrist pin out. So I'll just hold the connecting rod towards me, and hopefully, there might be a special tool for this, I don't know, but this works. Wow, I don't even know if this socket's gonna be long enough. Now the socket's in there. Did I mention this was my first time? Motherfuckers in the comments are gonna be lighting me up. Oh,
You're up.
there we go. Well, so this is definitely where I'm relying on a little bit of your expertise, Jason, to tell me on whether this piston is fried or not. I mean, it looks good to me.
No, I mean,
that's some.
it looks fine. You got some marks. There's no.
So that's like a
major
scuff
scoring.
right there.
Right.
Like,
The oh god no, it's like when you see a big like scratch
yeah, there's no
or
big,
dents in the top.
no big scratches.
It's like normal wear and tear.
Yeah, it's carbon buildup on the top.
You
Like,
did good.
blow by. Yeah, I mean, this is, so if anybody's wondering, this is running 60-to-1 Motor X. The entire time I've owned this motorcycle, it's been 60-to-1 Motor X. So that's what your piston should look like afterwards, and also overheating it horribly for an entire race. All right, now it's time for some crackhead work, cleaning up all the gasket surfaces. All right, let's go ahead and stick the new piston on there. So these things just kind of clip in here. There is a little retaining mark right there that you're gonna wanna put these rings, you're gonna want that gap in there, and that just kind of keeps them from rotating. Supposedly these are flat, but there's also a little bit of lettering on it. You can see it right there. And the official instructions say put the lettering up. So that's what I'm gonna do. Here's another tip. Put the bottom one in first, you dingus. Jesus. Fucking moron. Okay. There we go. Somehow those gotta stay in those when the cylinder goes on. I guess. I mean, the idea is to get this in here, and I already shot it across the room once, so I'm gonna make this harder by doing it in front of the camera. The idea is that we're putting this in beforehand, so when we push the wrist pin in, that it's just setting in there. So we should have a bearing for this guy sitting around there somewhere. And that guy goes right in. And this one looks fine, but it's got a new one, so what the hell?
This is going way too good for you, Josh.
I know. Something bad's gotta happen soon. This is just like way too easy. Let me see if I can't drop this other clip in the engine. The key is too not to nick the fucking piston, which would be very easy to do. This thing is just like, you look at it the wrong way, it's gonna get a nick in it. And that's not that big of a deal. You can nick a piston as long as you have a file to smooth it over. I don't have a file, so, or at least not a file that would work for this. So,
Have you seen Justice fingernails? We got you covered.
Are you fixing it?
I hope so. It certainly looks pretty dire right now, doesn't it?
Why are you doing this?
You have to.
Oh. Bike even paid off yet?
No, not yet. Okay. Phew! Oh my god, it's in there.
Do you want like
First try?
sand?
Dude, first try. Yeah, I shot the other one across the fucking room.
Shut up, beer.
God damn. Let's beer break for sure. Oh, crap.
In there.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Oh wait, Josh doesn't know what he's doing? Aha!
Alright, after the piston went on so easily, I'm kind of like hesitating now because I'm all fucking scared to put that cylinder on. Like, things have been going too well for old Shade Tree Surgeon and Jason here. But it's got to be done, so let's do it.
Gasket?
Good call, Jason. So there's a lot of gaskets that come with this. I'm not really sure where to go from here, but we're gonna look at the original and kind of eyeball it.
That's one of the matches.
Cool. What's the worst that could happen?
Your bike, your call.
I'm probably being way too careful. Hopefully one day, years from now, I'll be like, "That's so easy. Fucking can't believe I was ever worried about." God damn! Hell yeah! So, I'm not sure what we should do next, but we got that on there. It's looking good. It's moving freely. So, we're going to go ahead and bolt the cylinder back to the case now. And since half the bolts that hold it on are actually in weird spots, we can't use a torque wrench, so we're going to go with the old Guten tight. So, once again, we're going to do this
Wrong grill, baby.
tightening it in a star pattern a bit at a time. So, again, it helps to have a friend. I don't know how manly this is. We've been working on the bike all night, and so since me and Jason are stuck working on the bike, the Jessicas are actually out there getting the grill started.
It's okay.
I mean, we're doing manly stuff too.
I got this. Y'all fuckers just try to.
Yeah, they're gonna cook the meat. We'll make the dirt bike run. Here, let me give you guys a little pro tip here. When installing this circlip, make sure you put your gasket on first. What?
There's a cockroach in here. You gotta do something with it.
Inside it?
Yeah. Hurry up! It's alive. It's gonna come out the fucking thing.
Okay. Did you like vacuum it up?
Yeah, it worked, but now it's alive in there. And
How
I
does
saw
this thing
it.
work? Like, this seems like really important.
Don't do that. No, in the trash, not right there. It's gonna come back in the house. Yeah, I saw it crawling around in the clear part.
Oh, so it's in here.
Yes, hurry up before it comes out the neck.
Y'all lived in Florida your whole life and you've never had a cockroach in your house?
Not in this house yet. Okay. I'm glad I wasn't in Palmetto Grove. Those have wings.
She's screaming at me. I'm sitting right next to her.
I told her to get her vacuum. She's like,
What do I
no.
do now? She's like, no. And then she's like, wait, yeah. And then she's
back
just
to
like,
dirt bikes now.
Alright, but you don't know
Cockroach.
that
she's
it's happening.
jamming.
Cockroach-related emergencies.
We now return to the Transformers.
But how about now? Oh, motherfucker.
Look at that.
Okay.
I'd take that all day.
Alright, so if you want to know how to get that on, basically what we did was stuck a finger in this little O-ring, like pulled it out with this, and then pulled it like out in order to force that gasket behind it. So if that makes sense, cool. If it doesn't, I don't really know how to explain it any better. Not sure what was going on. But it's in, so I'm not going to question that. Alright, well, we got the new O-rings in, even though the old ones look fine, so now it's time to throw the head on there.
At this point, you either take it off and do it again, or...
Yeah, no, this is this is it. Time to put the exhaust back on, throw some coolant in it, and fucking start it up. It seems too easy, Jason. I'm not gonna lie.
It's usually that easy.
I mean, it should be. That's the whole thing. It's two-stroke. It should be this easy. So, the exhaust is on. I guess I should look up what the actual break-in procedure is for this, because I have no idea. Got the bike back together. Perfect timing. Jess just finished chicken. So, I don't know. Let's see if she runs.
what's all that liquid?
Don't worry about that.
It's not a big deal.
If either one of you ever say that, I don't believe you.
Well, would you look at that? Jeez, enough fucking around, guys. Let's eat.